Ladies and gentlemen, the NFL season is finally back, and in this video, I'm going to go over my expectations and outlook for the Arizona Cardinals. I'm just going to go over and just go through and predict how I see the season playing out for us. Now, I know usually these season-long predictions are done before the season starts, but I believe a lot of those predictions are based on a lot of speculation. There are way too many unknowns. So this is week two. Week one is like the breeze that blows and shows the teams behind. Maybe not the whole thing, maybe not even up to the crack, but it gives us a glimpse into what that team actually looks like. Look at the Patriots, Bengals, Falcons, and even the Packers. Look at how they're viewed now compared to coming into the season. It's a lot different. Even the Cardinals, our performance last week caught a lot of people off guard. Not me though. I go through the schedule, but before I get into the schedule and dish out the wins and losses, like how I think the wins and losses are gonna be on a week-to-week basis, I'm just gonna go over our off season and some of the moves we made. Now, really, our off season started on the last game of the season when we faced the Seahawks and Matt Prater secured that number 4 pick. After going through the whole season, missing only a single field goal, missing 2, secures that number 4 pick, and eventually the marvelous Marvin Harrison Jr. That was our first move in the offseason. We went on to, in the draft, address some O-line concerns, picked up some players for the O-line, and in free agency and late in the draft, we got some secondary help. I really like the Murphy Bunting pickup. In the draft, really love Darius Robinson. I really think he's going to be a game changer for us. But our secondary, I do think is going to be our point of weakness. But our offense is going to be pretty high powered. I think we're going to be top 10 in the league for sure, maybe even top 5. So without much further ado, I'll just go over the schedule go through every week and just say what I think about our opponent that week and if we'll walk away with the win. Now, week 1, I'm not gonna lie, I had us winning that game. I thought we were gonna win that game. And we almost did. Our offense, like I expected, our offense was really good. Defense, not so much. Play calling was also horrendous. I expect that to be better moving forward. Now, before as well, week 2, first is the Rams. I had us losing this game. However, after the week 1 showing, and especially the injuries, I actually have us winning this game. If we have some guys in our D-line with a pulse, we should be able to put some pressure on them. And it's about time we start winning games at home. Our home record's been abysmal the past 2 years. And especially after introducing those casitas, those like courtside, I guess, casitas that go for an insane amount of money. We better start winning some home games. Then the next week, we are facing Detroit at home. That, I'm going to call that a loss. Detroit's a really, really good team. Our defense is just not, I don't think we're going to be able to stop them. The following week, we're facing Washington at home. That one, I strongly believe that's a W. Their defense does not look good at all. The next week at San Francisco. Now, heading into the season, I wasn't as high on the Niners, not because I don't think they have talent, but because of the injury factor, which we've already seen with McCaffrey already. I do have us losing that game, even though McCaffrey should either still be injured or coming back from injury by then. they're gonna be able to run the ball against us. Surprise, surprise. They got another. The run game's still effective. They got Mason. I'm not complaining. I picked them up in 2 fantasy leagues though. The following week at Green Bay. Now, even before the Jordan Love injury, I had us winning this. I was not as high on the Packers as many. I believe their late season success was very fluky. Jordan Love played apart from that stretch, he was subpar. The following week versus the Chargers on a Monday night. Now I find this a little disrespectful that we only have one primetime game scheduled. I do believe with our offense, later in the season they're going to be begging to flex us into some primetime games. But on this Monday night, unfortunately, I have us losing. The Chargers, as they showed week one, they can run the ball, and I do think at some point eventually there are going to be games where Justin Herbert puts the team on his shoulder or just makes the plays that need to be made. He's still a really good quarterback. Miami. I initially had us losing this game, but after the Tua injury, I'm feeling differently because with Tua, I just know they were gonna torch our secondary. Our corners, our safeties, we got Buda, Thompson, solid. Our corners, on the other hand, if we lose Murphy Bunting, like who do we have really? So I've converted that to a win now. Next week versus Chicago, that is a win as well. I see that being a win. I know a lot of people anointed Caleb as the next big thing. I do believe that game Kyle is gonna have something to prove, like that he's still elite, and that some respect or a little more respect should be put on his name. The following week versus the Jets. This one is gonna be. It was a tough call, but in the end, I'm gonna go with the W. Partially because of the injury factor. Aaron is not what he used to be. He's still great. I still believe he's great, but they don't have as much talent as it may seem. The defense after week one doesn't look nearly as dominating as it did before in earlier years. And then we have the bye the next week at Seattle. Surprisingly, like the Seahawks have given us the most trouble recently in our division. Our losing streak against them is longer than the Niners and Rams. So I'm calling that one an L. With their 12th man as well, I just don't see us going to Seattle and pulling out the victory. The next week we are facing Minnesota. That game's in Minnesota. I do not believe in Sam Darnold. I do believe I know he had a nice week one and all, but once he eventually shows it behind JJ Justin Jefferson, he's gonna start showing some sour feelings. That's what I believe. He's gonna get tired of losing. I see it happening. The next week we face the Seahawks at home. I believe this is a week we get that monkey off our back. Finally beat the Seahawks. Next week we are facing New England at home. I know they're a scrappy team, but scrappy can only get you so far. We have a way better offensive talent, and I see us getting that victory at home. The next week at Carolina, what do I have to say? It's the Panthers. Come on. The next week we're facing the Rams. This game is at LA. Now, initially I had this as a W, but I don't see us winning, like sweeping them on the season. So I'm gonna call this one an L. And then in the final game of the season, I'm against the San Francisco 49ers. That game's gonna be at home. Now, as an older team, either two things happen. I see two things happening here. Either they've got the playoff seeding locked up and are resting a lot of guys, or they've been decimated by injuries. And I think at that point, we'd have the upper hand. So let me just go through and count them all. That is 1, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, 11 wins. I was winning 11 games and finishing off the season with on a 6-game winning streak. So heading into the playoffs, anything can happen. So I'm not going to speculate that far. But there they are, my regular season predictions for the Arizona Cardinals. Call me optimistic, delusional, but I really believe in this team, and I'm excited to see it all unfold. I'll try to have my match reactions and recap after every game, just to go over how I saw the game. So stay tuned, like, and subscribe.